Are you struggling with a small business or a dental office that is just not going well and is just keep dragging on and it feels like you lost all hope? There's several things you can do. So one of the first thing that you need to do is get help. It's kind of like with sports. You just can't really become an Olympic athlete by doing it alone. You really need to get some kind of a help, somebody who has an outside view of the situation, because when you're in it and if it's not going well, you get very, very discouraged and it seems like there's just no hope at all and there's zero help in sight. So one of the first thing I recommend is please get some kind of help or somebody who has experience, who deals with this situation, who can kind of coach you to get out of it. Okay, so there's several business coaches and mentors, and it's very important to find a mentor too, somebody who has been in a similar situation, who have gotten out of it. We have a dental office too, and we went through a period where it was kind of a struggle to kind of get it off the ground and get going. So having mentors really helped a lot. And we also had several different business consultants and coaches, and there's a difference between consultants and coaches. Consultants will tell you what to do now to help the situation, and mentors and coaches will help you to avoid becoming in this situation, as well as to come up with some answers on your own. So sometimes you need to have two, you need to have both. When things are not going well, you also need some kind of a strong voice that's going to help you what steps to take to get out of the bad situation, and the coaches and mentors will help you come up with some plans on your own long term. But sometimes for short term, you need somebody who it's kind of like boxing, when you're in a fight and it's not going well, you need a very strong word to see. You need to start cutting to the side so you're not eating all the punches. So when you're in the fight, you need that strong word right away, and somebody can't just tell you, oh, you need to think about this or that. You need to be told what to do to get out of the punches. So it's kind of a same situation with a struggling business. Sometimes you just need a strong word of what are some of the quick solutions that can help you to get out of the situation. And for each business, it's different. So if you have a dental office that's in a very urban area where it's saturated with other dental offices, then you need to come up with something that's going to make your office stand out in a good way, not in a weird way. So you need to build some kind of a niche where you're just different in a good way than all the other dental practices. Because remember, if you do the same thing what everybody else is doing, you're gonna get the same results as what everybody else is getting. So if you want to get better results than what other people are getting, it's very important to be different in a good way. And one of the ways to become that is to develop a strong niche. So for example, I have some coaching clients who just double down of doing orthodontics or doing lip fillers and Botox and aesthetic procedures or implant dentures. I have a coaching client that loves doing dentures, and that's all they do. They just mainly do dentures, implant dentures, conventional dentures, just all kinds of dentures, and that's kind of like their niche. And they are in a super saturated area, but they pick the procedure that other dentists don't like to do, and sometimes dentists don't like to do dentures, and this is what they double down, and they became like this huge to-go practice for dentures. And then, for example, we do a lot of orthodontics, and this is what I do. I teach orthodontics to doctors and dentists, and also teach how to treat patients with TMD and sleep apnea conditions, and there's a lot of need for that in saturated areas as well. And you may have a lot of orthodontic patients in your practice that you already refer out, so if you learn that, you might be able to keep that. So these are all the things that can help your practice, but it's very important to come up with something that's different in your area than what everybody else is doing, and that's going to make you stand out and be different not in a weird way. So that's the second thing. So get some help, and and also at the same time develop a strong niche. And the other thing is, it's very important to keep your positivity. So one of the things I see with a lot of business owners that struggle, they start getting into the more and more of a negative mindset and getting more and more discouraged, and then it's just always rainy days. And especially if you don't have a team that supports you 100%, maybe your patients and your customers are not they're not very cheerful and not very upbeat, and is just what your practice has, and you just haven't changed that. It's very difficult to fight the practice struggling, also fight your clients and fight your team. So you really need to start getting people around you that have 100% your back and have 100% and you have 100% of their support, and it's very, very important. I think it's better to have one staff member only who want the best for you and has 100% of your back than have 7, 8, 10 staff members who just kind of lukewarm about your business and they just ready to jump ship because things are just not going well. And you can actually research. There was a trip to the South Pole where it was a very difficult trip, and they promised difficulties to all the people who would sign up, and then the trip didn't go well, but everybody stuck with it, and actually everybody made it out alive. It's a great example. It was during World War II of how to surround yourself with people who have the expectations of it's going to be a hard trip, but it's going to be rewarding. So those are the people you would really want to surround yourself with, and you definitely want to have people around you who are just very excited about helping you, very excited about your cause. And the other thing is the third and fourth thing that you should really think about working on is make sure that you have a crystal clear mission of what you're doing. Just providing dental services to patients, it's not really specific enough, and it just kind of everybody does that. It's not really different. It doesn't really make you stand out. It just doesn't really differentiate you from everybody else. If you drive around, you see a lot of dentists say like, oh, we do whitening, we do deep cleaning, we do gentle cleaning, we do crowns, we do root canals. Well, everybody does that. Like every dentist does that. So how are you different than the other dentist? Why do I come to you versus not going to the other ones? So it could be that you cater for people who are scared, and you do sedation, or so you can pick something that's going to make you stand out versus all the other dentists in your area. So it's important, get help. It's very important to that help's going to help you define your niche, and you figure out what's the one thing that makes you stand out from everybody else. It's very important to surround yourself with positive people, even if you just have one person in your life that's just 100% positive, 100% on your back, has your back. That's what you should have versus having multiple people around you. So you really need to double down of focusing on developing a positive attitude. Cut out all the news, cut out all the economics that you're watching, or the the local news, national news, all of that. None of that is going to help you. So I would not get involved of like how the economy is going, how politics is going. I would just get rid of all that and just focus on only positive things, and surround yourself with people who are successful and positive, and get good mentors and get really good help. And I promise it will turn around. Now, the other thing that's very important is you need to get some kind of a volume to your business. I mean, I talk to both small businesses and dental offices, so this is more of a dental office thing. You need to get some kind of a volume in your practice to get some kind of attraction and get going and start earning enough money so you can make the living. So whether or not you either need to do promotions or just or sign up for a plan that has a lot of patients in your area who are not served, and you need to do some research because it's going to be different for everybody else. If you're in a rural area or if you're in an urban area, it might be a little bit different each time. So you really need to research your area. For example, you might be in an area where there are a lot of young kids, and there are no pedodontists serving those kids, and maybe all those young kids have a specific coverage or insurance plan that just nobody really a provider, and all those children have to travel half hour to an hour to find a provider. It actually happens more often than you think, even in urban areas. So if you find that, you could maybe become the provider for that group, and that can really help you take off your office. I use that example with the dentures. My friend was in a very urban area where there's like 100 dentists within a few miles, and she didn't know what to do, but she kind of liked prosthetics and dentures. And one thing she realized, there were a lot of people over 70 in her area who were who had this need of implants and dentures, and so she kind of doubled down on that. So even though she was in a super saturated area, she was able to really grow her business. So make these plans. I'm Dr. Nagy. I teach orthodontics, but I also do mentoring and coaching for doctors who do well and also doctors who struggle. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out and leave some comments for me. Let me know how I can help you, okay? And we should help each other. So that's why we're all here, okay? So have a good rest of the day. Bye.